front, His Royal Highness Ben Crowley on his YZ250. One of the things that impressed me about these Tasmanian guys is they regularly compare notes on how they are riding and always work on improving their style. Ben very kindly agreed to let me use this footage for training purposes, as long as I didn't say he was useless on a dirt bike and couldn't ride for shit. So draw your own conclusions, but I won't say Ben is useless on a dirt bike and can't ride for shit. So the first thing I note is Ben sits a lot. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. Ben does stand up over the rough terrain to absorb bumps with his legs. But generally at speed you will have more control over the bike when standing. However, on a 2-day ride like this, you also need to conserve energy, so sitting on the smoother sections can help a lot. Everyone's cornering style will vary, but in our coaching with Chris Birch, his guidelines were only sit for corners tighter than 90 degrees. And when you do, slide your butt as far forward as possible. You can see here Ben is actually sitting at the back of the seat. This puts too much weight at the rear and makes the rear wheel more likely to step out. Another twitch here, probably because Ben's weight isn't at the front to weight that front wheel for traction. When you do stick your front leg out, you usually want it much closer to the bike. If it's stuck out at an angle like this, there's more chance of wrenching your knee or hip if your foot catches on tree roots or a rock. Now, I can't really talk. When I see videos of my cornering, I am rarely sitting completely forward. Look, at first it feels so unnatural, you have to force yourself to get your gonads on the fuel tank. But it really works. You'll get far less front wheel washouts, and if the rear does break loose, it won't slide out so much. As it does for Ben again here. I have found Chris Birch's tips have worked well for me, so I'm standing for most of these corners and only sitting for the tightest ones. Birchie said to stay standing while you are braking into a tight corner, as your legs help to keep traction, and then only sit just before entering the corner. And if you are trying to conserve energy, after you exit the corner, wait for a handy bump in the track to bounce you back into standing again.
Just following his line.
These little tips are absolute gold for us old fellas. Quick sidetrack, I'm using the Sony X3000 Action Cam here on full optical stabilisation. Incredibly smooth, and really it's too smooth. This was actually a very bumpy track, but the camera makes it look as if we are on railway tracks. Eventually, I discovered a mid setting that was perfect for most of our video shots. I take the longer alternative route here and can't catch Ben again. He's bloody fast when he's in the mood. A final note for cornering, try riding in a higher gear and keeping the revs down while learning. This will help you focus on riding smoothly, braking later, carrying more corner speed, and not sliding the rear wheel out under acceleration. Sure, it's fun to pretend you are Dungey or Johnny Walker and trying to hit the rev limiter, but revving more will actually slow you down until you get your technique right. Sayonara.